Aloha Friday live, everybody. Thank you for being with me today. We're going hot today. If I sound a little weird, it's because this week has been a very trying one for me and my family. Today, we're going to be talking about leadership and financial compass with Jacob Laya. He's still on the road, so he'll join us here shortly. But yeah, so last week I canceled Aloha Friday Live because my wife, I was actually with my wife. She was having surgery, and we're doing the surgery thing. And that afternoon, I brought her home, and then Saturday, she's complaining about congestion and chest pain, and my daughter says, "Hey, Dad, I mean, she just went to the hospital. Why don't you just see if she, test her for COVID?" And I'm like, "What? No. Well, let's do it because she was in the hospital, and sure enough, she was positive for COVID. And guess what? The whole house, the whole house. I was with her, my daughter's with her, my son. We didn't know, and now we're all in it. So if you hear my voice is kind of rough, it's because the last couple of days have been hellish, to say the least. Um, so please take care of yourselves. This was obviously not some event where we were not making sure that we did everything. But once you go in the hospital, man, you're accessible to all that stuff. Uh, you know, and so anyway, that's where I'm at. That's where we at. So just asking for you guys prayer that we can make it through this thing because unfortunately my wife is also has got some complications breathing. So and if you know anything about me, this whole last year April, my mom died for COVID. So it's been one of those things. um, so I'm waiting on Jacob. He should be coming in shortly. As we talk about financial stability, hey, Alex, nice to see you in the chat. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate, yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, it's been rough, and from a nurse perspective, but now doctor, how that can be. So, but in any case, thank you. I appreciate it. Um, but have you heard the looming commentary, the looming conversations around our nation's financial positioning within the next 2 years? And which, our nation is one thing, and then that also affects us as a people. But are you ready for a financial crisis? Here in Florida, houses are selling, 8, 9, a million for something that you may have bought at 2, 3, 400,000. So one of those things that financial stability, financial situations change. They change, and they change rapidly. Are you ready for a financial situation that's bigger than yourself? Right. This whole COVID thing, we did not anticipate something like this, and you know we didn't anticipate for so much loss of life, especially if it happened to you in your house, right, in your household. Um, but um, there's a lot of talk about the financial situation in our country. Uh, you know, gasoline prices in California. I saw $10. I said, "There's no way," um, but it's real, right? It's real, um, and it could affect you. Could affect you in a pretty profound way. Um, let me see if Jacob is in. It looks like he's on his phone, so I don't know how well this is gonna be. But I'll try to slip him in here. Hey, Jacob, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, Enrique? How's it going?
Doing good, doing good. Um, yeah, I was just talking about financial positioning and the financial status of not of our nation, and just kind of like leading into what we'll be talking about here, which is a financial compass. But
Exactly. Exactly, Enrique. It's such an awesome pleasure to be here with you and Aloha Friday. Thank you for the invitation to be here with you and with all the folks across the networks and everything. Hopefully, we come out of this today a lot more wiser about what we need to do with our finances this year and the years to come because things are different. If we don't change out the way we think about our income, our money, and our finances, we're in a very big heart rocker heading up in this big wave that's coming up. So we got to brace for shock uh, and get ready for the heavy seas that are coming. Just like we get underway, Baba, and get ready. Totally excited here to be here with you and with everybody. And thank you for again for the opportunity here to be with you.
all right, well, if you need time, go ahead and take all the time you need. I can chat. I don't want you driving and talking and all that at the same time. But um, yeah. So the talk is that the next couple of years is going to be pretty rough. Something that we haven't seen in a little bit. And I had just mentioned so was COVID, right? A pandemic.
Correct.
100 years. I never thought I would see it. I definitely never thought that I would be a prey to it. But financial situations and hardships, they come and go in our life. So there's some people that are just not worried, right? They're not concerned about how it's going to impact them. But when you start paying $10 for a loaf of bread, then what?
It's hey, when I just filled up my tank right now, $85. When same place I was paying $40, $25. I'm like, what a big difference. And when your income, when your salary doesn't go up the same way the prices are going, it is going to impact you sooner or later. It's going to come to your pockets, and it's going to affect you, your finances, and your families, and everything around you. So it does. You have to take everything into consideration.
Yeah, and there may be some people that are not concerned because they live in an area where things are modest, right? Prices are not going up too high. But if you're in a big city or in a big metropolitan area, where you know price gouging and all this other kind of thing happen when people get scared. Right now, hurricane season just started for us in the U.S. At least we already had some disturbance come through and affect us here in Florida not too long ago. And when you still have the world going as normal, but the financial situation being volatile, then it there's those are recipes for disaster. And if you're not looking at ways for you to be positioned in an opportunist or opportunistic way where you have the resources, and even if things get out of whack, that you can still provide for your family, then what's going to happen is that there's going to be a lot of people in situations where they wouldn't normally not be in, and then start making decisions based off those situations. as financial planners and financial advisors, um, we, you know, I remember when I was a financial, specialist. I know you served in the Navy and doing that. Um, we always encouraged a balanced financial footing. Meaning you didn't go too far on either side of things, and you always had for yourself a nest egg, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you being able to, in hard times, being able to still execute and produce. So, as we're talking financial compass, tell us a little bit about your background, uh, and then we'll go from there.
From there, sure. Well, a little bit about myself. I was born in Philadelphia, and then I was raised in Venezuela. My dad's from Venezuela. My mom is from Puerto Rico, and they met in Philadelphia. And we went 3 years old. My dad decided to take us to Venezuela, and we lived down in Venezuela until I was 12 years old. Came back here to the States. Uh, Back to the same thing. Financial situation very similar to what's happening. When I was living in Venezuela, it was one bolivar, $1 was 2.5 bolivares down in Venezuela when we were living down there. It came out 4 years later. It raised to four bolivares to $1. It came to seven, and then it came to nine. When it hit the nine bolivares mark for every dollar, my dad decided, hey, it's time to go. We got to go. And we came back here to the States. I was 12 years old. We've been here ever since, and everything. By the time today, I don't know if you guys are familiar right now with the state of how Venezuela is right now. It's all over, and like I said, it started from that time today, and we see it at the mark. The beast is coming back this way now. That storm is coming this way. I'm tell folks all the time, constantly, beware, 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 because the storm is here. Put it out on the hatches on the, in your household and your finances, because it happened over there. I still got family down there, and seeing how they got to live. Where my uncle got a master's degree, two businesses. He lives right now on $50 a month. Try to survive that in a foreign country. All right. I served in the Navy 20 years as an operations specialist. Travel 67% of the planet, and just miss it every day. Right now, I still work right now for the Navy as an operations analyst over in DC, and got my master's degree while in the service. While in the Navy as well, I became a financial counselor there for the Navy and help sailors manage their finances and everything. Little did I know that this will come to play 10 years after here in my life, and started working as a financial counselor myself out here in civilian world, because it's important. We never got educated in finances. So I started on my financial compass, and guess what? Why did I start it? Because I lost my job in 2019, in August of 2019, making six-figure income and the dream job. And just because one individual did not like me and having lost, decided to replace me, put me out there in the streets with my family of six out here, what was I going to do? What could I have done? Fortunately enough, I had already started jacking my photography 10 years ago as well. I got my certification as a professional photographer while I was servicing in the Navy, and started my own business there, and been growing jacking my photography even today, and loving it all the time. But I diversify my income just as we are taught to diversify our investments. You also need to learn how to diversify your income, because we're in the 21st century now, not in the 20th century, where you can rely on a job to get you through life. Today, you can live in that mentality anymore. You got to diversify. You got to find other ways for income to come into your household, because if you live and put all your eggs in one basket, what's going to happen? Huh? What's going to happen?
You're gonna
Somebody
lose.
might take it. You're going to lose all that nest egg right there. Now, if you spread your nest eggs across other venues, if one of them breaks, you still got others to rely upon. So that's the big lesson I took uh, in my ordeal in this life right here. And I'm so grateful now to have started my financial compass, because it's about educating people. It's about giving hope to people. And hey, now, regardless of your situation that you're in, you can always find a way out. You're in America. You're in the United States of America, the land of opportunity. Nothing can stop you here except yourself.
Well, thank you for your service. I know that the service allows us a lot of benefits and exposure to different things. The financial specialist, the command financial specialist program, is made so that sailors can make good, informed decisions on their financial footing. And there used to be a time you would retire, and it'd be all right. But now they put the onus on the sailor. Now they put the onus of retirement in the hands uh, of the service members, where they have to be financially savvy, or they may end up with
Exactly.
zero at the end, of their service. I was fortunate to still be under the high three yeah, type of setup, and thankfully that's there. But when you talk about finances, um, and you gave a good backdrop with Venezuela, because a lot of people don't understand what's truly going on in other parts of the world. But you're talking about, right south, right? It's south. It's like right on our, basically in our neighborhood. Um,
That's right.
but um, if it could happen there, it could happen anywhere, and a lot of people are not taking the signs that they're getting. When I see gas prices at $10, something's up. I mean, you don't have to tell me too many stories. I'd look at that price and say, something's going down. What in the world? You can't get a gallon of milk for less than $4, $5. I remember Hawaii, a gallon of milk was $8. So you know, you see things like that for normal day to day things. Now, your normal day to day things that you run through all the time will take your check and make it zero.
That's
So
right.
what happens when you got to pay your light bill, or what happens when you got to pay that anything that has to do with the house, or any of your expenditures that are external to your normal day to day living? And that's the arena we're marching into.
That's
So when you talk to people in terms of diversification of income, now I know that there are, and I've learned this from a good friend of mine, which has established for himself over 12 ways of getting income. He's got 12 gates, and they're all feeding him, right? And he's doing well. But he had to learn to do that. So before you get into the diversification of your income, or streams of income, you got to learn how to have a good and healthy relationship with money. And
correct.
I'll tell you that, at least in my Hispanic household, there was no relationship other than high and buy when it came to money in my house, right?
That's the
And
way, especially over here. Oh yeah.
it was it came in and it went out. So that's what I grew up with. And so guess what? When I got to handle money and it was mine, it came in and it went out, because that was the relationship that I thought was a good one with money, right?
Yep.
I lived in the Bronx, New York, where, you know, broke welfare welfare people wearing more gold than people in Chinatown. You know, it's and they were broke. They were broke, right? Now hopefully they kept that gold because they can sell it now. But
Exactly.
is that um, there is a lack of a healthy relationship with money. So, what can you tell people that are there? Because there's a bunch of
That's my personal experience. Like I said, the moment I lost my job over, and I was working for the Missile Defense Agency, and I was like, man, whoever thought of me as an E6 first class petty officer working at the Missile Defense Agency, saving up, helping up the Navy to grow up and everything. It was just like a dream come true for me. And I read and I came to my hand my book, Rich Dad Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki. Boy, what a wake up was that for me when I read that book. That's when the light slapped me in the face and told me, this is the reality. This is what you've been doing. You know, our parents always taught us, hey, grow up, get a good education, get a job, maintain your family. Sorry, folks, that's 20th century mentality. We're in the 21st century mentality. Now we need to change things in the way we think about money. We think about our resources. It's plain and simple. As long as you trade your time for money, you're just going to be a slave to that system because somebody else is going to control how much you're going to earn and when you can earn it. You know, I can't take a vacation when I want to or go wherever I want to, or I cannot make the amount of money that I want to. Why? Because I'm trading that to my time for what they tell me I'm worth. As long as I work for somebody else, that's what we're stuck with. That's what we're stuck with. And I did not realize that until I read that book and I told him, hey, whoa. And here his father, Robert Kiyosaki's dad, PhD in Hawaii, saying he's broke. And whoa, you know, it's like it was a wake up call for me. And since that moment on, I've never thought about money the same way. Even before as a financial counselor in the Navy, I didn't know about this stuff until I read that. And if nobody has read it and this, I'm telling you, go out tonight and get it. Not try to make him get all the praise and glory, but it's a good way to find yourself. Hey, this is what's going on, and if I want to make a change, I gotta change the way I use my money because it's not wasting it. Put your money to work for you, not to work for someone else. When I learned that, things have changed. I've doubled what I have in my savings accounts. Now I got, a backup. I don't have spend as much in my credit cards, and I understand now the consequences of having debt. It's just like an anchor. You're a ship that wants to get underway, but that anchor is holding you down in place. That's your debt. If you want to get off, you got to hold that anchor up. That's the only time when you can get underway. Because if you drag that anchor with you, what's going to happen to the hull of your ship? Yeah, you might lose the anchor. You're going to break you something in the ship too, right? And you have to go back in the yards and make other repairs to yourself because you didn't properly raise up that anchor, got rid of that debt, which is holding your money. You're transferring your earned money to someone else so they can do something with it to make themselves richer. Every time you think about your credit card, think they're making 32, 29, 32% out of your money. And what are you getting? You just got that one thing, whatever it is that you brought for that credit card right there on the spot. And you're going to pay 3 times more.
yeah, it's one of those things that if you're not ready for it, it could get you.
You know, and, another guy that I picked up on was Dave Ramsey. Boy, I used his strategy and got to pay off $47,000 in debt. Pay that off in less than a year. You just gotta if you're gonna get if you're gonna take any advice from anyone, find out from people who have been successful in both raising the kind of income that you want to achieve, and have gotten out of the situation that where you're at and been able to overcome it. Don't just take any advice from anybody who hasn't achieved it or anything like that. If you want to, I want to make $1 million, I gotta find people who are making more than $1 million and everything, and associates. And like I learned, you'll always become what you surround yourself with. You'll be the average of the 5 people around you. All of my friends, they're all military, we're all Latinos, same pretty much pay grade and everything right there. The more you hang around with people at lower income, look, check your bank accounts and all that stuff. It's all a reflection of where we are. Take a look at yourself and reflect on where you are. And if you want to achieve, you want to make things change for yourself and your family, you got to look up. Look in the direction that, like with a compass, find out the direction you want to go and move in that direction. Don't just stay stuck there. That's why I love the name of the company, Financial Compass. You got to find a compass, find a direction. Once you get that direction, you got to move forward. You can't stay there.
A lot, a lot, yeah, a lot of times our vehicle, right? Because you can look at money in different ways. Um, you could look at it as a resource. You could look at it as and many different things. The point is that you got to have a good relationship with
it. And it comes down to, and always say, oh no, if thinking about money is being evil, we go back to the good old, even the religious part of it and everything, and say, hey, no, all rich people are evil, money will make you evil, just like guns will make evil and other stuff. And no, it's how we use it and what we do with it that will define who we are, because those are things that God gives us to be able to manage it in a way that's going to be pleasing, not just to ourselves, but to others, to society in itself and everything. And we just got to learn it. I go by the scripture. Hey, the master who put out his talents and gave a talent to 10 talents, 5 talents to one guy, 3 talents to the other one, and 1. I want you to go out there and duplicate it. And what did they do? One doubled them, 2 of them doubled them. The other guy hit it. What happened to the guy that hit it? And that's what something we can't hide ourselves. We gotta go out there, make our skills, make it work for us, duplicate ourselves, duplicate what we have, and it will come sooner or later. The blessing will come and everything, but you just got to be active, move. Don't stay stuck. Don't hide yourself, because the consequences will be there, and we can't blame anyone but ourselves.
Well, that one, he lost that one, right? He lost and then he got put in jail.
Yeah.
But it's just important to really hone down on a financial strategy, because the times they're coming, and it doesn't have to be a worldwide or nationwide event. It could just be a household event, right? You mentioned you lost a job. Well, that's a house-wide event. I mean, it's going to affect everybody. If you happen to be in a 2-income home, then it may be a little bearable. But still, when you're used to 2 incomes, maybe it's just 1. And if it's 1, there's some rough road ahead if you lose your employment.
Even when you lose your life, just think about it. And people, we put insurance in our cars, we put insurances to our house. But how often do we have enough insurance in ourselves? Some of us don't even want to put insurance in our own. And is it about death? No, it's about our income. Because if we don't, whoever the other person is can't match what we're doing in our job. Obviously my wife can't make what I'm making, because she's not at the same level as I am professionally and all that stuff. And if she can't replace my income, how is she going to live? So I gotta make sure that I leave behind enough for her to be able to make up at least some time without effort. But we gotta. Sorry, I got my dogs coming in for the door and everything. But that's something that people gotta contend with. Do you have enough protection for you and your family, especially in this COVID? COVID demonstrated this clearly. People were not prepared, and I have one person uh, that have that came down to COVID, and they didn't for 15 years. They paid for their life insurance. Little did they know that they brought in a wrong policy for their families, and it was death by accident that they will get their payback. Well, they didn't die by accident. They died because of a disease. So the company did not pay them back, and now that family that got left behind don't have anything to back up with. So the next time, check your policies. And you think if you think that having a group policy, your job is going to take care of you, think again. Unless you die at work, unless you die any job, most companies will not pay you, will not give you back. So take that into consideration. Do you have enough backup to be able to provide you at least for a year? Because I got $200,000 coverage. Is that enough to give you for that through for 1 year? I don't think so. Especially now that everything's moving up in these prices and everything. So keep that in mind. Yeah, you gotta evaluate yourself. We do financial needs analysis for retiring military, for transiting military, for couples. When I do my weddings, because I specialize in wedding photography, I do to my couples. I tell them, hey, let's do a financial needs analysis. All right, let's find out where you are and where you want to be. Because what's the main thing that kills most couples these days? It's all about money and how we manage it. Who manages it? Is it one person who's going to manage it and the other one forgets? No, this is an opportunity for husband and wife to work together to get a common goal and achieve it. Because the ultimate achievement is to retire and not have to go to work and not have to depend on a paycheck when you reach that magic number of 65 and you want to retire. Do you have the next 30 years covered, or are you going to have to go work? I can't go to work because I'm 65. Nobody's going to hire me. Nobody's going to pay me what I was earning when I was 40 and 50. People don't think about that stuff right now, and you got to have that in mind. If you stop, how am I going to get back? Because you're not going to get at the same level to where you started at now. Especially when you retire at that age and you reach that time.
So what do you tell people that are just starting? Let's just say right now they're saying, "Oh my goodness, yeah, gas prices, this, that, and the other." You know, where do they start?
Where do they start? Right now. There's a lot of financial advisors and everything. Get a financial coach. You'll realize that financial advisors a lot of the times, unless you have a specific number of income coming into them, they may not even be able to deal with you because, hey, you know how the game is and all that stuff. I'm not in it because of that, because I already earn enough and everything. I've done my planning and everything. So it's just, to me, educate people. You got to find financial coaches, get yourself educated yourself if you don't want to pay someone else and everything. But you got to start somewhere. I give everybody the lesson. If you want to get it, as a sailor, one of my duties was the navigation. As an OS, I had to help the quartermasters get their charts ready and all that stuff, and lay down the track for the ship to go from Norfolk to Spain. Hey, we gotta correct the charts. We gotta gather the charts. We gotta gather all the information that we need to lay down a track and to get to that from point A to point B. You know where you're at right now, where you want to be. How much do I need to earn at that point in order to make it to that destination? And cut fixes as you go along. But you got to get the ship underway. You got to get yourself underway. If you don't get underway, you're stuck in the same spot, like a building.
So, but do you mean you just don't go out and just launch and just hope that you get to Spain?
No, you gotta get trained. You gotta get trained. You
right.
know, if you don't know
There's
how,
a
if
lot
you
of
don't know how to do star navigation and GPS goes down somewhere, do you know how to take care of it? You
no, I
know?
mean, I've asked that question knowing the real answer, but I asked that question because there's a lot of people that go underway financially with no plan.
Yep, exactly, exactly. No plan. Take a moment, and like I said, compare your plans. Get a second opinion. You know, but once again, check who's going to give you that opinion. You know, if you're going to go to if you have cancer, you're not going to go to a plumber to get you an opinion on, hey, what medication should I take? Right? You got to go to the right people, to the right person in order to get the right information in order to achieve that. But check, get someone else's opinion, get someone else's view in order to make that happen. Make it happen for yourself. There.
And I don't know how many that are watching or listening or seeing this on replay um, have a great financial relationship with money. But if you don't, um, believe me, that relationship will go south. You know, sooner or later, money wants to leave you, and then what? Right? And because if you look at that relationship as a normal relationship, right? If you don't give, let's say, your spouse the right amount of attention, the right amount of detail, the right amount of care, you approach them with the type of delicacy that is required for a relationship, something that makes her grow or makes him grow, become better. you Same thing is with money. If you treat your money like a secondhand a rag, or if you treat your money like it's not really worth what it is, it's gonna leave.
Oh
Somebody
yeah.
somebody's gonna pick that up, and you have to be ready for hard times if you don't learn. If you
Oh
don't learn how
man.
to have a relationship.
When I read after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, I read Cash Flow Quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki. Again, I learned where am I going to spend that money at? If it's not going to make me earn the money back, I just handed down what it took me 80 hours to work to earn that. Now I just hand it off freely, just like that, in 2 seconds. I've just handed it down. No, I'm not going to question it when I spend my money on food and clothing for my family and all that stuff. But if I'm going to go get something that's really not, particularly, let's say you want to buy a car, you know, if you need a vehicle just to go from point A to point B, hey, do we need the Mercedes Benz and the BMW or whatever, or do we draw back and all that stuff for it? What's the point of the expenditure? Because it's going to take a lot more for those high end stuff and everything. And you got to keep all those things in mind. I know those guys, the big guys, they don't spend their money just like that. They don't buy. When I say how come they have 25 million dollar house, well, they're making $6.5 billion a year and everything. When you take the percentage, yeah, that's maybe 2% of what they're earning. No wonder they can buy it. No wonder they can just buy it straight out cash. But you got to be in that position. If you don't take it on those things under that consideration, I'm not making that income. So why am I going to spend $60,000 on a car when I'm only making $35,000 in a car
Yeah,
and all
no, I
that?
feel you. Like I said, right, there's a lot of people in my neighborhood that just they were always broke, but they had clothes, they had gold, they had the nice cars, but broke.
Yeah.
They couldn't buy their way out of trouble, right? They couldn't. And so it's very important to establish a healthy relationship. Um, you was talking about Kiyosaki. Um, he told this story. Well, he was talking specifically about cars. He said he wouldn't buy a car. unless it was a taxi. He said, "Yeah, because you're that money is going down the drain.
Yep.
But if you had a taxi, you can recoup some of that money
Yep.
because you run around and get paid for using that car. But nobody gets paid for using your car,
Nope.
and that's a
Nope.
smart approach at financial responsibility in terms of vehicles. I got two. Look, I got two Mercedes in my garage. One a truck and one a sedan. The truck has just been sitting there because ain't nobody riding nowhere. Well, I'm gonna pay $150 to fill my truck. I ain't. I'll drive the sedan. No joke. The truck has been sitting there. It's been sitting there for about 8 months. You know, it was the middle of a pandemic. I wasn't traveling nowhere. I wasn't, right? So here I got two cars, well in the 60 to 90,000 range, just sitting in the car, just sitting, doing nothing. And so that's what he meant by, we buy our way into trouble. And
Exactly.
thankfully for me, those are either paid off or about to be paid off. Right? Okay, so I won't have a car, no good. But I had one, and some people are quick to turn around and get into another one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an unhealthy relationship with money. And so, when you're making basic decisions like that are not basic in terms of financial impacts, they're basic because you're used to doing it. You're used to
Correct.
getting into debt to get this and getting into that to get that. And then you turn around and then you try to get out of that debt by getting another debt. you,
It just
you
never
get a
stops, man.
consolidation loan to pay this loan over here. So you're
Exactly.
continuously in debt. Money's not working for you. Money is working you.
Exactly. Money's in control of you. You're not in control of your money. And
Exactly. That's a point I wanted to talk about. How do you get from uh being controlled by money, because that's the kind of like the scenario here, to getting in control of money.
yeah, you even start with your basic budget. Sit down. Excel provides you excellent budgeting programs and all that stuff. You have, I don't know if anybody's aware of use Mint. Mint is totally free, um, and it's a very easy program to app to to coordinate all your basic budgeting and monitors all your spending. And you can, by the end of each, I go every Friday. I go to that account and check and see how am I spending my money. Is my expenditure higher than what I'm getting in? And when I see that my expenditure is higher than that, I'm like, boy, that I messed up. All right. So you gotta find ways to tools that are gonna help you monitor that and that stuff. But you gotta start putting that budget, find out, okay, where's all my money coming from? You know, my job, my retirement, where's my money going? If you don't know where your money's going, again, you're not gonna know where you're going at. You gotta sit down and take that moment and reflect. Put all that stuff in a piece of paper, put that on Excel or whatever app you want to use, but do an analysis. If you can't do it, have someone like me go out there and do it with you and everything. But get it fixed, get it checked up, and start getting a plan. Get that chart and know where you're at, know where you want to be, and get that track going on there. And every few often take fixes as you move, as your ship gets underway. Take fixes. Where am I at? How am I spending my money? What am I doing? What did I accomplish with my income? Am I richer or am I poorer this week or this month and everything? Because you got to. It's the best way to do it. If you can, if and today you can even start your own business and all that stuff. This is the day and age of entrepreneurship. Get yourself into business yourself. You have so much opportunity. You don't have to lose your job. You don't have to give away your job. You can do it in your part time. Get that extra income that comes into you. I do photography, I do financial counseling, I do my job full time, and I still got my family and everything. We still got time to go and do anything. And it's about discipline, and that's one thing I'm so grateful for the Navy to taught me that in itself, that discipline to learn. Hey, there's a system when you structure yourself and you get discipline, everything is possible. Is it going to be easy? No. If it's easy, everybody else will be doing it. We'll be rich as Tom Gate and Jeff Bezos and these guys. That's why there's only so few up there in the top, because only few of them think that way. You look at Elon Musk. I'm like, dude, the guy owns 5 different companies. I mean, he a dollar can fall off his pocket, $100 can fall off his pocket, and it'll be harder for him to pick it up than someone else pick it up and everything, because it's nothing. $100 is less than a penny for him to compare to everything. But why? He's driven. You gotta have a reason for it. What are your reason for work? Are you working? Are you earning just to make a living and be surviving, or do you want to make something out of yourself? Some people have cut down. I don't want to do this. I don't want to travel. I don't want to do this. Some of us don't even have a purpose. You find yourself a purpose for yourself as well. I want to travel. I want to take my family to all the places that I went to while I traveled in the Navy and everything. Is it a dumb idea? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But I'm working towards it. You work towards it, and you find a purpose for what you're earning, and you're gonna find ways to make that happen and everything. But you gotta also start with a purpose for where you're generating that income. Why? Why do we go and play the lottery? Oh, I want to make $1 million. Well, people those that win the lottery, where they're at 2 years later. Most of them are where at broke.
Back where they started.
And why? Because they did not have a purpose. It's, I got the money, let me spend it. Spend. So we have to change.
That's why I was talking about a poor relationship with money. Now, you talk about financial compass. You got your 16 point, you got your 4 point, there's a lot of ways to go when it comes to compass. And not every direction, not because somebody went in a particular direction, mean you have to be going in that direction. But you must know what's your direction.
That's right. Know your direction. Is it north, south, east, west, whatever direction it is that you want to do? But you got to know where you're going. It's like a ship. A ship underway with no direction is just gonna stay there. It'll never hit land. You'll never go anywhere, and your resources will sooner or later will run out. And then you just got the storms are gonna come, and bam, you're gonna be down in the ocean. There no life for it.
Land, but it might be a sand barge. You might run aground. That's what happens.
Yeah. Did you check your charts and all that stuff?
I put the link to into it, the Mint, in the comments so people can check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a wonderful application that I personally use for myself and everything. It's a good way for you to check yourself, get that check and balance, and all that, and it's totally free from Intuit, the same company that does QuickBooks and the taxes and everything for you. It's very good. I love it and everything. But there's tons of other applications out there that we can use. And if you're using that's the one thing that's so crazy for me. We have so much information. We have so much capabilities at the palm of our hands. And what do we do with it? I tell that to my kids all the time. What are you doing? You have everything. No time in the history of humanity have we had so much power in our hands, so much information. And what are we doing with it? Are you just TikToking yourself away to nowhere? Gain knowledge, gain experience, gain all the stuff that you need to get yourself ahead. Don't sit around just wasting your time, because what's the one thing that we all have in common, from Tom Gates, uh, Jimmy Buffett, and all the big guys, Elon Musk, they got the same 24 hours that you and I have. How is it that they are able to achieve so much on the same time that we have? Because they learn how to manage their time, manage their income. When you become financially independent, you know, you know now you can do whatever it is that you decide to do. Oh, well, we're not financial independence, and I'll throw this out there. Do you know your financial independence number? Have you ever heard of financial independence number?
Yeah, a lot of people is 911.
Well, your financial independence number is how much money, if you wanted to retire tomorrow, how much money do you need to have in your bank account tomorrow in order for you to live the kind of lifestyle that you want to live after you retire? How much money do you need to have to maintain that kind of lifestyle? If you don't know that number, you don't have a target to reach, then you're just throwing darts out there in the air, and it's not going to hit anything. Knowing your financial independence number will help you say, okay, I need to make $500,000 in order to save to if I'm going to live for the next 20 years. You know, some people they think, oh, I got my 401k, I got $500,000. That's good enough for me. Excuse me, folks. We're living longer. We're healthier. Believe it or not, even with this, even here in the mighty USA, with our foods that we really, shouldn't be living that long. But we've been doing it. We've been blessed to be able to live this long
That's
based on
that's
our
because
diet.
that's because we've been preserved. All the preservatives
So
we eating are preserving us.
exactly. But we are living longer, and if you don't have that in mind, then if you don't know that 500K is now maybe get you in the next 3 or 4 years after you retire, because you're gonna obviously what you're gonna want to do. You want to go out there and travel. You want to go and do other things because you think you saved enough. You know, 2 years later, oh, your bank account has run dry because you spent it, and now you have 20 years left. Now you're hoping for something to happen to you because, oh, I can't go back to work. I can't go back to work. I'm not gonna earn what I was earning. Now I got to go work at Walmart and down in Taco Bell and everything and try to earn a couple of bucks here just to survive. Because I didn't plan the good. I didn't make the proper planning. I didn't know my financial independence number to know how much I needed that will get me through the next 30 years after I retire.
And you talk about knowing your financial, uh, the number, but
Independence number, yeah.
yeah, but the thing is this: knowing that and not taking into account things that could happen that we would not even. You imagine that the world would go in another crisis just after being after the last 2.5 years. We would get into another crisis. It doesn't have to be financial, but it impacts finance because when the pandemic uh, braced us, pretty much halted the world. Money wasn't things started to get bought up in areas that we did not expect. I didn't know I would have to buy so much toilet paper in 1 year.
Man, I was laughing so hard the first day I came over when we walked into Walmart to try to buy toilet paper and saw all the shelves empty. Just like living Venezuela right there, Baba. It was looking at it like, oh man, here it is right there.
And no toilet paper, but the food was there was enough food. But everybody was going for toilet paper, right? I mean,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
you just can't you can never calculate what the true impacts will be in the future. So the best thing is to get yourself a good financial footing. We're talking about financial compass, the direction you need to go, but you need to know what you're working with right now. And if you don't know what you're working with, then you can't calculate. So,
Nope.
folks, for those listening, and we're coming up on the end here, Jacob, but for those that don't know where they are, can you give us, the next 5 things they need to do to make sure that they're in a better position tomorrow than they were today?
Okay. If you're the 5 things I will say is, first of all, okay, know your salary. Okay. How much, what lifestyle do I want to live now? This is your present time. This is your present time. If and determine what lifestyle do I want to live in. If you're not satisfied with the lifestyle that you have, that lifestyle requires a certain salary that you need to have in order to live in that lifestyle. And if you're not there, then you got to figure out, okay, what steps do I need to do in order to reach that salary that's going to give me the lifestyle that I want to have. That's one. Next is know your financial independence number. Okay, know your financial independence number. Now that will help me. Here's how I want to live when I retire. This is how much I need to have in the bank. Pay myself now. Pay myself now when for when I retire. This is going to be yourself paying yourself now in the future. That's step 2. Step 3, get out of debt. That's your anchor. That's your cancer. Your chemotherapy, paying that off. Paying that off. Get out of that debt. Now you have more money free from whatever you're earning. Now you can put that money and pay yourself. Always pay yourself first. Don't pay. I know Uncle Sam is gonna come and take your first earnings every time that paycheck comes in. But after that, pay yourself first. And by paying yourself first is putting that money into your 401k, your IRA accounts, and yourself. Pay yourself when you retire in the future. Okay. Like again, third, first, your salaries. Determine what lifestyle do you want to have. 2, find out your financial independence number. This is what you need to do to live the way you want to live when you retire. 3, get out of debt. 4, find out your protection number. Okay, how much do I need to do in case something happens to me? My family, those that are left behind, will be covered until they're able to achieve it. What legacy do I want to leave to my children? Okay, this is the opportunity. This is the first time in generations where we can have leave something to our children. So take care of that now. Get a will. Very, very important. If you don't have a will, nobody's going to take care of you. Uncle Sam will know what to do with you, with your stuff and your children. So you better take care of that now, or else he will. Okay. And 5th, invest. Like I said, you got to get yourself with somebody who can help you. I'm here. I'm all hands for anybody, and I have an awesome team that works with me to achieve the goals of everybody else. I'm not here. I don't earn anything when I do my counseling for people, because I'm not here to get paid for that. I'm here to help others achieve it. I've been blessed enough with all the blessings that God's given me for me and my family in this life and everything. I just want to be able to give back to the community. If my reward will come whenever it comes, when He decides to give it to me. I leave it on His hands. But we all got to do something for each other and everything. This is my way of paying back for others for what was been given to me.
All right, folks. I put those 5 points in the chat there or in the comments on LinkedIn. Get a good financial footing. If you've been listening to this, you've been watching this, Jacob can also help. So reach out to Jacob. Jacob, how can they reach you?
They can reach me out. Go to my profile. Now they'll see the links to both of my companies there. My Financial Compass. I'll post it there as well. There, and I'll go into your profile. Leave my link there for My Financial Compass as well.
All right, so folks, get a hold of Jacob. He can help you getting a good financial footing. But it's so important to get a great relationship with money, folks. It if money is coming in and money's going out, that's not great. I'll tell you that right now. I lived that for a long time, and I had to learn how to get out of there. Uh, my my upbringing did not facilitate that. I had to go to a different environment. So maybe you got to go to a different environment. Whatever it is that you need to do to establish a good financial, healthy relationship with money, do it. The 5 tips are there. Jacob is available. Everybody, I thank you for joining us tonight on this Aloha Friday Live. Sorry for the voice here. That's what happens when you get COVID. But I tell you, it's been good to talk to you, Jacob. Everybody, Aloha Friday. Be
Aloha,
well.
everybody. Thank you so
Bless.
much.
God bless everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Take care of yourselves.